Hey there, it's Rachel Mullins, the host of hashtag No Filter Fridays on Public House Media.
The way you live your days are the way you will live your life. Hello, welcome to Choose to Rise. I am so grateful that you are here today. So grateful that you're here today because I have something really fun to share with you. I have been on lots of mentoring calls lately. I've been plugging into my personal development. I've been finding ways to get my own cup filled, and it has really inspired me to come up with this podcast and kind of combined and some of the mush together all the fun things that I've been learning lately and to help you create the ideal day. All right. So the way you live your days are the way you will live your life. This is a gut check quote for me today and a reminder that it's not always the big rocks in life that make our life meaningful, purposeful, and create a legacy to have leave behind. It's the day things that add up to be the big things in life. You might not think that your morning routine or that you kiss your husband goodbye every day or that you get to have your kids home after school at the end of the day with a snack, or you have that bedtime routine with your daughter. Like, you might not think those are the big things in your day. Like, they might seem pretty insignificant. However, those little things add up to the big things in life. And I want you to think about this. Like, if self-care is not included in your daily life, you're not just going to wake up super healthy one day. If you don't have intimacy and work on your relationships in your life, on your day-to-day life, you're not just going to wake up one day when the kids are gone and have a perfect marriage and like completely love this human being that you're with, right? If you're not being intentional with your children and showing them that you love them on a daily basis, you're not going to wake up someday when they're gone and expect them to be showing up at your front door, loving a relationship with you and having a great time. You have to do the work on a daily basis in order for you to have the life that you want to live. And you have to work on things on an overtime basis, on a daily basis, to add up to the big things in the end. So today we're going to take a big step back from looking at the ideal life. You know, a lot of times we look at the big picture of like, what does the ideal life look like? And today we're going to get super tiny into the ideal day and what that looks like. My friend Trina this morning talked about she said, you can plan all of this out. We can look at what a whole ideal day looks like, but it's not everything on the list is always going to make it in the day, right? The life is going to happen. There's going to be lots of things that go on. You're going to have to be flexible in the way that things work. But I also want to give you a structure today that is going to take all the things that we're going to brainstorm around the life and what your daily life looks like and kind of really come up with. I want you just to brain dump on a piece of paper. I'm going to give you a couple activities today. So if you're listening to this in the car or you're listening to this, where you can't sit and write, I encourage you to save this one and grab a piece of paper with me when you get to a spot that you can redo this with me here. Okay. So I'm going to encourage you to grab that piece of paper now, and we're going to really look at what all the areas of your day, right? And really brainstorm here. What are the things that would make an ideal day? Like, if you could choose your February 2nd, your Groundhog Day, right? What would that look like? If you were going to live Bill Murray's life, what would that ideal day look like? And what are the things that you would want to have included, right? So we think about all the areas. So come up with these following areas. I think there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 of them. And I want you to come up with, just jot some notes down around these areas. Okay. What would an ideal day look like in the sense of a wake up routine? When you wake up in the morning, what does your ideal day look like? What about your morning routine, your self-care routine, your work life, your family life, nature, spending time there, your fun or your hobbies, maybe adventure? What do your meals look like? And what does your bedtime routine look like? You know, from the start of your day to the end of your day, what does that life look like for you? Thinking about each of those categories, writing down a couple things on each of those things. What would an ideal day look like? And maybe you just have like a second column or another little like asterisk under some of those categories that say like, maybe this isn't an everyday thing, but like maybe I want it to be a weekly thing, or I want to make sure that I get a massage every month, or I want to get a massage every other week, kind of thing for my self-care. Or if in my work, I want to make sure that I'm connecting to new people every day, or in my morning routine. For me personally, I wrote down connecting with gratitude every single morning. In my workout routine, my morning routine includes, my Bible time and my journal time and some meditation and my energize and like all the fun things that go into my morning routine. And, my family time is the after school time where I get to pick up my kids from school. I get to talk to them about their day, get into their reading routines and all the things that happen in the after school before we rush off and do all the night activities. So when you think about all these things that happen in your day, all the things that you would like to be an ideal day for yourself in each of these categories, my mentor, Brooke Castillo, also will say that if you want any of these things to happen, you have to schedule it into your day. So she has an amazing podcast called the 1 Hour Monday, and where she really talks about taking everything that you need to get done in a day or in a week or a month or whatever is on the top of your head, brain dumping it on paper. So kind of like what we just did, brain dumped everything that we want our ideal day to look like, and then schedule it into your calendar, right? If it's going to happen, it's going to get on the calendar. And I follow the same kind of philosophy. Like if there's something going to happen, it's got to be on the calendar or it just doesn't get done. To having a running to-do list and not having it actually scheduled and assign some time to it, it's very easy for that to-do list to always kind of skip over those things on the to-do list, and they always get pushed off to the end. Give yourself a deadline, give yourself a slotted time and a scheduled time for those things to happen, and they're much more likely to happen. Now, I told you I would give you a kind of a structure, right, to your day, and you are able to establish 4 routines in your day. And I know some of you might be thinking, routines, oh, I don't like routines. They cause structure. I want to be spontaneous. I want to be free. But trust me when I say that when you start creating some of these routines, you will have a lot more freedom in your day. You'll have a lot more opportunity to be spontaneous. So what are the 4 routines that I want you to create in your day? The first one is a morning routine, okay? The second one is a workday startup routine. The third one comes from a workday shutdown routine. And the fourth one is the end of day routine. Now, everyone can establish these 4 routines. Everyone gets to decide what goes into those routines. And you get 3 or 4 things that happen from your ideal day list and maybe plug those into your routines that are going to happen. Now, remember, when it comes to routines, you have very much control over everything that's in there. You need to remember these 2 things about creating those 4 routines, right? Number 1, they're 100% yours. You decide what you want to have in those routines. For me, my morning routine might look very different than your morning routine, and that's okay, right? So I want you to pick 2 or 3 things from your ideal day, what that looks like, and plug those into the 4 daily routines that you have. The second thing I need you to also remember about routines is that you need to give yourself grace. Remember when I said earlier that, not everything's going to happen in your day because life is going to happen? Yeah, 100%. You're going to have to choose that 80-20 rule here. Life's going to happen, but that doesn't mean that you need to throw in the towel. And it doesn't have to, that if it was something in your daily routine or your schedule on your thing doesn't actually happen, because there's going to be curveballs. There's going to be sick kids. There's going to be, events that happen in your life that you just don't have control over. One example is something I do have control over, but it's something that I've continued to do, even if it doesn't happen every day, is my Bible reading, right? My team and I decided that we were going to read the Bible in 1 year. Okay. And so every single day there's a set of scripture that we are reading, and it's all planned out for us. And so we know that by the end of the year, if we stick to this plan, we'll have read the entire Bible. And there are some days where I read ahead and I get more done than I need to. And there are some days that I don't read all or any of it and I have to catch up later on. But that doesn't necessarily mean I throw in the towel. I give myself grace. I know that maybe my morning was just a little bit busier, or there were other things that needed to come ahead of it that time. Maybe I move, instead of doing my Bible reading right away in the morning, I do it in the afternoon when my kids are reading their books for their 20 minutes homework assignment every day, right? You get to decide what that looks like, but you also get to decide that you're going to give yourself grace, and that if it doesn't happen in the moment, it can still happen in your day. Okay, sometimes people say that they don't like routines because they don't want to be spontaneous, or they want to live life spontaneously, or they don't like to feel boxed and structured. And but I would always argue, back and push back a little bit and say, in my life, I have actually found that routines create a lot of freedom in my day. I know that when I have a set morning routine and I get all of that accomplished in the day, and then I have a set work routine that I do on a daily basis, and I have a set after school routine with my kids, I've really found that when I get to the end of that time period, so like if this is my work day routine, when I get to that point done, if I've accomplished everything that I want to accomplish in that chunk of time, I can feel so good about what I've done for the day. I can feel so accomplished of the things I've done. And then all the extra time that I have in life, because I've been so focused and just got the things done that I needed to, because I've got a routine and I just get it accomplished. Now I have way more time in my day to be able to be spontaneous and go do the fun things in life and the things that just pop up that would be a great opportunity. I don't have to say no because I've wasted my time throughout the day because I've not been structured. I haven't figured out exactly what it is I want to do. I've wasted time away doing those things. So I want to encourage you today. I want to help you see maybe that you can create some rhythm in your life. You can create some organization in your life. You can have more effectiveness, more productivity, and have more opportunity to live a free life by creating some of these routines. And you get to be more spontaneous in life because of that. So 4 things that I want you to create in your life: a morning routine, a workday startup routine. So when you get to work, what does that look like? How are you getting things done? What are the things that you need to do there? A workday shutdown routine where you are saying, okay, this is the end of this. I'm going to move into the next phase where I'm going to go be present with my family, where I'm going to go do these things. I'm going to leave work at work. And number 4 is the end of day routine. Maybe a reflection time. What is it that was something memorable throughout the day? What are maybe you're a type of person that needs to create your to-do list for your ideal day for right away that night. What are the things that you need to have put on your to-do list for the next day? Maybe you're someone that wants to do that right away in the morning and that's part of your morning routine. But whatever that looks like, I want you to be able to create a morning routine, a workday start, a workday shutdown, and an end of day routine. And try to plug in all the cool things that you are brainstorming about each of these areas in life that would create an ideal day for you, because it is how you live your day-to-day life that will create the life that you are living. So I hope today that something has sparked an interest in you, something has been helpful for you, and I hope that it kind of made sense. All the pieces that I pulled from all the places in my learning to this today and this week that has really been helpful for me that I can be able to share with you. And if there's a habit that you're creating or routine that works for you, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear and brainstorm with and see and learn from each and every one of you. So shoot me an email at choosetoriseup.com. You can head over to my website, choosetoriseup.com, and see us there. You can go over to Instagram or here on Facebook and get connected with me lots of ways. And if you would do something so kind for me, is if you would share this podcast with someone else who needs to hear it. If you would just even share this right over, if you're listening here on Facebook, share it to your page so your friends and family see it as well. And if you're on the podcast app, take a screenshot and send it to someone else who needs to hear it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really love and appreciate that you're here. And if maybe you have heard, maybe you've seen some of these steps that I've been talking about today are part of our happiness code that I've discussed here in the past. Like, there's still openings for our book club, and I'd love to get you one of those spots. Slide into my inbox. Let's talk about it, where you can be surrounding yourself with other faith-based women who are improving their health, their confidence, and their happiness in life. And I want you to be a part of that. We're going to get started here in March. And so if you want to be a part of a community like that, a support system, and really work on the internal pieces of happiness, because that's really the only place it comes from, I would love to be able to work with you on that. So shoot me a message. Let's get talking and rolling about that. All right, guys, have a great day. I can't wait to hear from you all. See ya.